Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrent. Your host here, Richard Carthon. And today I have a special guest all the way out in Singapore working on a cool project that I'm excited to learn more about that actually is having some breaking news happen right now on this show. We have Andras Kristof with Ether Cards, but is now rebranding to Galaxis. How are you doing today?
Hi, Richard. Thank you very much for having me. I'm doing excellent. Thank you. And indeed, these are very exciting times. Today is the time when we are announcing the rebranding, and you might actually beat us by a couple of hours, it looks like.
Awesome. Well, y'all hearing it here first exclusively. Appreciate you joining us today. Let's learn a little bit more about you. Can you give us some background on yourself?
Sure. I've been a technologist for more than I want to remember, and been doing startups for many, many years. And I started to work with blockchains and cryptocurrencies back in 2013, ancient times. Bitcoin was $30, Ethereum did not exist. And we built the first Bitcoin ATM in Asia. We deployed it in 2014, and then we wanted to, even then we had an idea to let people issue their own tokens. But again, there was no Ethereum. So we built our own, and we created a distributed asset management system, which went all right, but we learned about Ethereum, and we started to work with Ethereum in 2015 from since the beta days, because it was fundamentally better than what we built. So we have been working with Ethereum. We worked with a lot of companies in the space, and we been building smart contracts since the beginning. And we got introduced to NFTs about 4 years ago, way before they became fashionable. And we started to build utilities around NFTs many years ago. And Ether Cards, that is now Galaxis, is a company that is working on putting real utilities behind NFTs.
Now, that is a really cool backstory, and the fact that you've been building this for a long time, again, working on some of the first smart contracts, shows that you have a deeper understanding of how, again, the true utilities around NFTs can be utilized. So give us some more information on what was the premise of Ether Cards, aka now Galaxis. Why was it made originally, and what has it evolved to today?
Sure. Well, originally it was made because we realized that there is a huge need in the open source, open ecosystem space to get useful projects funded. If you build a traditional startup, I'm sorry I know I'm oversimplifying it, but many times from many VCs you will get money if you get enough traction. In other words, if you can sell enough customer data to them. But if you are doing it properly using open ecosystems, open technology and blockchain technology, there is no customer data to sell. Even if you have a lot of customers, you don't even have email addresses and anything else. And that's the way it should be, in my opinion. So even if you are doing a useful project that doesn't have the possibility to do a hockey stick curve in terms of financing, you will not be funded by VCs. And if you are working on blockchain, but you are not working on DeFi, on financing, you are also not going to get the money from the token bros, because there is no number go up, nothing to ape in. So we've got a lot of very interesting, very useful projects, educational projects, infrastructure projects, social goods projects, and other projects that could actually help tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of people, but they cannot get monetized. So that was what we realized, that we are not alone when we were doing a project like that. And we came up with an idea that it is actually possible to create a funding and monetization system that can be utilized as long as there is a community that is really interested in the project that you are doing. So if there is a project, if there is a community, and you can actually provide value to that community, then that community will give you money. It's not going to be tens of millions of dollars. It's not going to be instant retirement, but it's going to be bootstrapping and sustained operation. So we wanted to build a system utilizing NFTs that enables this kind of projects to create a sustained operations, create a sustained economy that can be and will be sustained by their interested community around them. So that was the original premise. We were actually working on an educational system that incentivized people to create high quality, to create and maintain high quality learning material on the blockchain for others to learn, and we could not get it funded. So that was the original push to create this project.
I see. Okay. So just so I can make sure I understand this correctly, you are having a way for these larger organizations that want to be able to provide value back to their communities and be able to pay them. And the way that they're able to do that is by using Ether cards to launch NFTs, in which by providing value back to the community, they can provide them with these, I guess, NFTs back to the community that will give them a piece of value that kind of rewards them for their sustained engagement within that community.
Yes, but we are not necessarily talking about large organizations. The thing is that it will work with individuals or small organizations or startups or small groups of people from YouTubers to artists to actors to athletes to cosplayers to whatever. As long as there is a community interested in that person or entity or group will be able to monetize their creativity and provide value to their community.
Got it. Okay.
And that is basically some of the missing things that has been, and this is what we realized and learned when we actually deployed our project back in March last year, that this could actually solve one of the big problems of the internet, that creative people, when the internet happened, suddenly gained a worldwide 3.5 billion audience, but lost their ability to monetize their own creativity, unless they were paying 30% to a third party or tattooing advertisement on their foreheads for Google. So what the platform as a service that we are building provides is a direct way for them to engage their community and monetize their own creativity.
So you're giving power back to the individual creatives to monetize their community. So
that is correct.
Walk me through. So for example, I were to come on to Galaxis and I have my cryptocurrency community and I want to be able to use Galaxis. Walk me through like how that would work.
I give you a couple of examples from different point of views of different projects. For example, you want to build an online service. You want to build, let's say, a distributed VPN, okay? Because you think it would help, and you actually have, you are known in the space, you have a community that is interested in that, helps their privacy, and they can do test their website from different countries. So you say, all right, I'm going to build this distributed VPN. Or I'm going to issue these 100 NFTs. If you buy one of these NFTs, then once the service is up, holding this NFT will give you a constant 50% discount on the service, on the VPN service. So if you buy it now, that will give me enough money to bootstrap the project and actually get the development done. And once the service is up, you will have an NFT that has an actual utility. All you need to do is to keep it in your wallet when you connect to the service, and you will get charged half. And if the service is indeed up, so I actually deliver on my promise and I build this VPN, then you wanted to use a VPN anyway, you might as well use it with your card and you can get a 50% discount. Or if you decide that you are not going to use this VPN anymore because for any reasons the service is good, but you moved on to something else, then you have an NFT that you can sell in the open market. And if it's an actual service that is in demand, then that NFT will get you a good price. I mean, it's a constant 50% discount. On the other hand, now I have this service and now I run it. Obviously, I cannot keep issuing 50% discount cards. That makes no sense for a business. But I can issue a different NFT at this time. From now on that I have a running service, I have this 100 OG people with the 50% discount NFTs, and they are the lucky ones. From now on, I'm going to issue NFTs that will give you a 5% discount for a three months of commitment. So you get a 5% discount, and I can put randomly or not randomly utility traits on those NFTs. For example, you may have a utility trait that you can burn for a meeting with me, where you can ask me about privacy practices. You can ask me about the field that I'm most interested in and most well known about. So you will get an NFT that will operate like your user account. You will get discounts on that and other benefits. And that was just an actual technical online service. We are working with, next example, we are working with academic researchers that give you, that they will issue their own NFTs. And for example, they're working on ZK snarks or other very advanced fields. So you can support them by buying the NFT, and you will be able to connect them directly and ask for their services for a limited period of time because you bought their NFT. Next example, we are working with an indie film studio creating a movie for and about autistic children. So what they do, they issue these NFTs, and with the utility traits, you can actually change some of the plot elements. You can be part of the creative process of creating the movie. And also, there are physical redeemable traits on the NFT that will get you, that will enable you to get some of the props from the movie scene. Basically, being part of the process and getting something from the movie for your support. Another, obviously, we also work with a lot of artists, but artists are much easier in this game. They are the driving force behind this whole thing. But utilities make sense there as well. We've got NFTs created by artists where there is a utility trait on it that you can burn. And when you do so, you will be taken to a website where you can put in your name and shipping address and get a high quality print with the artist's signature numbered of the art of the NFT. So in this way, you can actually get something physical out of your NFT, but you also damage your NFT because once you did that utility trait is gone from that NFT. Another way that we are also is being used right now is that you can set up a meeting with the artist. Let's say you buy an expensive NFT from a well-known artist, and there is a utility trait on it that enables you to set up a meeting and talk with the artist for 1 hour. And that can mean much more than money. You can get a direct connection with the artist whose work you admire. And of course, it's good for the artists as well, because they can get a connection with somebody who paid a lot of money for their art. So we are also working with, I cannot, and this is the last example. We are also working with a very high-level athletes that are part of a national team of a certain country. Hopefully, I can disclose it by Friday. And they want to set up a fund that can help them and the future generations of artists to get funded by the community. And the utility traits on the NFTs will help that as well. For example, you can get, for the utility trait, you can get a 2 hours training with an Olympic champion. So this kind of ways, anything from artists to all the way to open source projects, you can combine the appropriate utility that makes sense for your community.
Right. And thank you for all those different examples. I think that's going to resonate with quite a few different people. Now, let's talk about the platform itself. So in order to support that, does that mean, all right, ABC company or individual have no idea how NFTs work or how to make these utilities? Is it that when I come on and use Galaxis, that there's like a user interface that helps walk me through how to create these with these utilities? Or like how does this all work?
Yeah, that's correct. Right now, one of our biggest problem is that we don't have that ready yet. So we need to work with each and every project. So what we are working on is the self-service platform, and we are planning to release it on the 1st of March in about a month from now. And that will enable anybody to design their NFTs both visually and both from the utility point of view, and in addition to deploy a community space, a web-based community space where those NFTs can be immediately utilized. So we give you the platform where you can design your NFTs. We give you the platform where you can sell your NFTs. We deploy the contracts for you. We deploy the pages for you. So basically, it's a full service. Plus, we give you a utility space where your community can log in with that NFT. No username, no password. They use that NFT as their passport, technically. And then there will be online chat and a lot of other ways to actually start engaging and utilizing the utility threads.
That's pretty cool. What mind me asking, so is this a layer 1 protocol? Did y'all build this on top of a layer 1 protocol? What's the underlying protocol that's being used for all this?
At launch, the plan is that you will have two choices. You either deploy it on layer 1 Ethereum or you deploy it on Polygon. Mm-hmm. Later on, in the next step, we will add other EVM-compatible chains to it, like Clayton and others, that are easy because they are basically using the same technology. Mm-hmm. And the last step that we are planning is to do hybrids, meaning you can actually deploy an NFT on Ethereum layer 1, but the utility traits is going to be on layer 2. So buying the NFT is on layer 1, so it a certain value. But when you interact with the utilities, let's say you burn it to redeem your physical redeemable or to set up a meeting, you don't need to pay $200 in gas costs.
Right. And I think that's an interesting and unique play because, like you said, to redeem some of those traits, it could get pretty costly very quickly.
Yeah.
And it's
but
definitely
good that you can actually use Polygon. So Polygon will be an option. And obviously, the first version of the platform will not cater to all the possibilities that we can do. It's going to be a simplified version, which will be improved continuously to roll out more and more features.
For sure. And, as we kind of walk through this a little bit more, how do you see the future of a Galaxis? So I know that you said you're rolling out the feature where people will be able to self-service back in March. Yeah. But do you have any other things on the roadmap that you're able to talk to us about on some that are coming out soon?
This is the most important. And so basically the whole, what we are betting on, that NFTs are the perfect tool to enable creative people to monetize their creativity, as long as it is combined with the appropriate utilities. So what we build is, we call it a platform as a service. So we are not building a centralized marketplace. We are not building a new centralized platform. We will give you everything. So if you decide that you want to self-serve, we will give you the necessary backends, necessary front ends. You can actually run it yourself. We will give you the code for that, and the smart contracts as well. We provide you the platform so you can build and engage and improve the connection with your community. But we don't want to become the next Google or Amazon from the centralization point of view.
Right, and I think that's a good way of looking at it. So finding a way to keep the platform decentralized so it still speaks to everyone. But also, as we kind of look at the greater crypto NFT landscape, you're starting to see more and more, Fortune 500 and larger corporations try to enter into this space. How do you think that Galaxis is positioned to be able to bring a lot of benefits to these creatives who are trying to get out here, understand how everything works, but there's just so many different places that they can go. How is it that Galaxis is going to be that like one-stop shop to like make it easy for them to just do all the things that they're imagining?
I think the most difficult thing when you want to deal with NFTs is that a good smart contract programmer now worth their weight in gold. So getting somebody who can do the code for you, it can be extremely expensive. So what we are doing, we are creating all the necessary boilerplates and templates from which a set of well-written scripts and frameworks can actually pick the right pieces, fill in the variables, and deploy it automatically. So all you need to do is to operate a familiar web interface. Right. And that is necessary to actually get people into this space. The next thing is that I foresee a lot of pain with large companies entering the space. I think the same misunderstandings are here that we have seen, at least I did. You are probably too young for that, for the early 2000s when we had the dot-com boom, and every big company and their grandmother were deploying websites for meaningless stuff. Like the canonical example is pets.com, trying to sell pets online. Makes no bloody sense. But they did, and they failed. And what I see is that the same thing will happen here, because large companies will not understand that in order to actually gain the benefits of the platform, they will need to give up some control. And they need to fundamentally change how they interact with users, because users of this era will be deterred even if you are asked them for your username and password. And that is a fundamental change that larger companies may not understand. So I'm actually afraid that many of the big guys may not make it if this thing becomes successful.
Right. No, that's a really good point. Everyone go back and re-listen to that, because there's a lot of really good takeaways. And the big one for me in that is, just because a large corporation is coming in with money doesn't mean that they are going to make it, and that they're going to be in touch with the current users in Web3 and what they're looking for. And even as mass adoption comes, what the new audience will be looking for as well. So, Andras, I really do appreciate the conversation, all the really great information you've been able to drop on us. I always like to wrap up with 2 fun questions. The first one being, with all the information that you have right now, if you could go impart 1 to 2 pieces of wisdom to yourself when you first got started building this project, what would you tell yourself?
Don't trade.
Okay, that's a good one.
I would say don't trade. If I would just held my first purchase, I don't want to say, but that would be a very different word for now. Right. So one is don't trade, research, buy, and forget. That's what I suggest. That is the most important thing in this space, I think.
And I appreciate that. It's a sentiment heard a lot on here, and I think it's always good to hear it from a different viewpoint. A lot of people come in thinking that they're traders, and instead of, they should think of themselves as investors. And if you think of yourself as an investor, you typically do a lot better in the long run. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
What is a final thought that you want to leave with all of the listeners here today?
I think with this space, we have a unique opportunity, like an opportunity of a lifetime, and many of us and most of the world still doesn't see it. And I think we need to understand how this space is working and what the people want in this space, and build upon that. And if we can do that, we can actually make the world fundamentally better. And that's what my belief is, and that's what I would like to work on as long as I can.
Awesome. That's a great final thought. Thank you for that. And again, thank you for your time. What are ways that people can connect with you and learn more about Galaxis?
For now, because I don't want to announce the new website, please come to ether.cards. Or come to Twitter at ether_cards, and you will find all the information there that you need to get in contact with us.
Perfect. And we'll make sure to keep all the links in the show notes as well. So again, thank you so much for spending time with us. And for everyone listening, stay cryptocurrent.